Welcome to the Explainer. You know that one single number we hear about all the time, the unemployment rate? It can literally make stock markets jump or crash. But here's the thing. That 1 percentage point hides a way more complex and honestly, a much more human story. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify what's really going on behind that number.
Yeah, we all see that headline figure pop up on the news, right? But have you ever actually stopped and thought, wait, what are they really counting here? Who is included in that number and who isn't? Let's dig in. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, first things first, we have to be super clear about who we're even talking about when we use the word unemployed. So, economists call this group the labor force, and this is a really crucial distinction. See, it doesn't include everybody. If you're retired or a full-time student, for example, you're not in it. The labor force is specifically the pool of people who are either already working or are actively out there looking for a job. And here's why that is so important. The unemployment rate, it's the percentage of people within that specific group, the labor force, who don't have a job but are trying to get one. So, get this, if you're not actively looking for work for whatever reason, you're technically not counted as unemployed. Kind of wild, right? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You'd think full employment means 100% of people have jobs, right? 0% unemployment. But nope, economists have a totally different take. For them, an economy is at full employment when about 96.4% of the labor force is working. That little gap, that 3.6%, that's actually considered a good thing. It accounts for the natural, healthy churn of people moving between jobs.
You know, that natural churn I just mentioned? Well, that's a perfect way to get into our next section. See, unemployment isn't just one big single problem. It's not a monolith. It actually comes in 4 very different flavors, and each one has its own unique story.
First up, you've got frictional unemployment. Honestly, this is the most common and really the least scary type. It's just that normal time gap when someone leaves one job and starts another. You know, like a teacher who finishes at one school in May and starts at a new one in September. It's just the natural, healthy flow of the job market.
Okay, next is something a lot more serious. It's called structural unemployment. This is a big one. It happens when there's a fundamental shift in the economy, and suddenly the skills people have don't match the skills businesses need. We're not just talking about finding a new job here. We're talking about needing a whole new set of skills just to stay in the game. Then you've got seasonal unemployment, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Think about industries like tourism or farming. They have these really predictable cycles, right? Lots of hiring in the busy season, and then layoffs when things get quiet. That's seasonal unemployment. And last but not least, there's institutional unemployment. This one's about outside barriers, actual obstacles that physically stop people from getting to the jobs that are available. A classic example is housing. The perfect job might be waiting for you in another city, but if you literally can't afford to live there, that job might as well be on another planet.
All right, so we've got the different types down. But that brings up a huge question. How on earth do officials take all of this complexity and boil it down to that one single number we see on the news? Well, the answer, it's messy. Let's use a real-world example, say Ireland. They actually use 2 completely different methods to figure this out. On one hand, you have the live register, which is basically just a list of everyone getting unemployment payments. Simple enough. But then on the other hand, you've got the quarterly National Household Survey, where they actually go out and survey almost 40,000 households and ask them directly, are you working?
And you guessed it, these 2 methods almost never give the same number. And this gets right to the heart of the problem. You've got some people getting benefits who might actually be working, maybe in the black economy. You've got others who are unemployed but don't even bother to apply for benefits. It just goes to show you how fuzzy and frankly how imperfect that one official number can really be.
So now we get to the real heavy hitter question. Why does this all matter so much? Why are we even talking about this? Well, the impact of unemployment, it's not just about the one person who lost their job. It sends these massive ripples across the entire nation.
Think of it like a chain reaction, like dominoes falling. It starts simple. People lose their jobs, so they have less money to spend. That means consumer demand drops. Then businesses feel it. They might have to lower prices, and they'll definitely stop expanding or investing. And all the while, the government gets hit with a double whammy. Less tax money coming in, but way more welfare money going out. That's how you get a budget deficit.
And we're not just talking about dollars and cents here. The impact goes way deeper. High unemployment can bubble up into all sorts of social problems, like increased crime. It can even push down wages for everybody, even the people who do have jobs, because now there's more competition for fewer spots.
Okay, so with consequences this serious, what's the plan? What can we actually do about it? Well, the good news is governments and economists aren't starting from scratch. They have a whole toolkit of strategies they can use to fight back against unemployment.
Some of these are pretty broad-stroke ideas, like cutting taxes for people and companies to try and get the whole economy humming. But they can also get super specific. For instance, a government could offer companies money, a subsidy, to hire new people, making it cheaper for them to expand. And, most importantly, they can invest in education and training. Remember that structural unemployment we talked about? That big skills gap? Well, this is how you tackle it head-on.
So here's the bottom line. The next time you see that unemployment number flash across your screen, I want you to think of an iceberg. That percentage, that's just the tiny tip you see above the water. Beneath the surface, there's this huge, complex world of different causes. All the challenges in just measuring it, and of course, the very real consequences that affect every single one of us. And that really leaves us with one big question for the future, doesn't it? As things like AI and automation continue to completely change the game, are we about to face a massive wave of structural unemployment? Are the skills we're learning today going to be enough for the jobs of tomorrow? That's maybe the biggest challenge we're all going to face. Thanks for joining me.